would like to share a story. And you know, only the person experiencing it can actually articulate it in the best way and share their story. Okay, it's like a little nervous. Come on, let's give her attention.
Hi, my name is Cruz, and I've been a resident of Trenton, Jersey, for like 37 years, and I'm with Catholic Charities, and I'd like to say that I appreciate the fact that I finally got supportive housing through them. I was living in Trenton for many, many years, and bullets actually came in through my living room as I was watching TV one night, and I appreciate the fact that now I have safe housing where I don't have to worry that anything will happen as such it did where I was living prior. So I'm very grateful, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much for Ministries of New Jersey Advocacy work. And to do a brief comment, and then Bill Butler, who is over here, and then we're going to have Congressman Smith speaking. Losing it at the end of the day here. Beginning to lose track of the time.
Thanks so much for this wonderful opportunity, and I obviously want to echo all that we've heard today, but particularly for Donald request to encourage this minimum wage increase. What I want to talk a little bit about is the clear connection that we all know between our incomes and our cost of housing. And there's a relationship between what we earn each week and what we can afford to pay for housing. And when wages are low, our struggles for housing are just incredibly difficult. I recently have a wonderful dear friend who is a home health care aide who came to help our family when my father-in-law was dying of Parkinson's inch-by-inch. And her incredible struggle to afford housing, as well as caring lovingly for a kind man who was dying. And she was a saint to our family and to all that we needed during those difficult months. And yet she too struggled every single day to keep her housing. There's something wrong with that. There was something when someone is working hard every day to do God's work and care for the needs of those who are dying around us, who can't afford a safe house, a reasonable apartment for herself and her own aging mother. We have to stop and ask ourselves, what's wrong with this? What's really broken here is affordable housing and wages that can allow people to have a just day's wage with a just housing and a safe place to lay their head at night. So I want to encourage all of us as we are here together to thank you for being here and to know that public opinion drives public policy. So as we can talk to friends and neighbors and to have conversations around the need for affordable housing in New Jersey, it's about raising our voices together. Because as Stacey Berger said, nobody's going to do it for us. We have to do this, and we have to work hard together to shape opinion and to influence our legislators so they understand what our needs are every single day, what our neighbors' needs are, and what it is and how it is that it impacts the lives of people we know and love and those saints of God who are doing hard work every day. So thanks again for being here, and thanks for your hard work.
If you live in the 4th District, this is your time to come up behind us because we need you in the photograph. Congressman Smith came, so if you're here, come up. I wanted to introduce Bill Butler, who I've known for 25 years, maybe 30 years. Bill and I go back a ways. When we first started working at Monarch, he was one of the first houses and people we worked with, and Bill's a great friend. I wanted Bill to come up and say a few words, but also to introduce the Congressman because you've been working in his campaign and you know him very well. Bill? But again, if you're in the district, come on down because we have a lot of people in the 4th District, so let's make sure we get a bigger picture here.
I'd like to thank you all for being here in the Marine Corps. We live by the motto, Semper Fidelis. That doesn't mean sometimes faithful, it means always. And I am so thankful that my congressman, who has shown the courage to always do the right thing, like we always do the right thing, is here with us to address us. I worked for Wegmans since November the 22nd of 2014. I have a Section 8 housing Section 8 housing for my apartment. My apartment is within blocks of the Asbury Park Public train station. It cost me 75 cents to go to work. It cost me 75 cents to come back from work. It cost me $1.40 each way to be the vice chairman of the Monmouth County Mental Health Board. But most of all, it's nice to be here with the faithful of people who always do the right thing, especially my Congressman Chris Smith. I was a friend of his in 2016. I'm proud to be a friend of his in 2018. Sir Congressman Chris.
I am last, so I'll be brief. I learned lessons over the years. Some of you may know I'm actually the founder of 12 different health caucuses on Capitol Hill. One of them is the Lyme Disease Caucus. And I was invited to give a keynote speech here in Washington. There were about 1,000 people, lots of kids. And I said, how long do you want me to speak? They said, we hope you speak at least an hour. I went for an hour and 5 minutes, at the clock. Afterwards, a little girl, she must have been about 4 years old, came up and she said, Mister, your speech was long and boring. I turned around, and then a few minutes later, her father came up and said, I saw you talking to my little daughter, Melissa. She's at that awkward age, she just repeats whatever she hears. My comments since that have been very short. And first of all, thank you for your advocacy. It makes all the difference in the world. We need to know what is going on in our communities. You've heard from all the members, and I think I am last, so you've heard from the other members about how important it is to know what real-world cuts and increases really will do to benefit people. Of course, cuts will benefit anybody. I voted for or against the cut in Medicaid expansion, believing passionately that Medicaid 80% of the people in New Jersey that are on Medicaid actually have a job. So there's a working poor, and having a higher level, obviously, of enfranchisement makes all the difference in the world for those people who've been left out for decades. Some of you may know I've been in Congress for 37 years, and I served on the House Committee on Veterans Affairs for 26 of those years. In 1999, I decided it was time to do a mammoth, comprehensive Homeless Veterans Assistance Act, introduced the bill, and for the next 2 years, worked to get it passed. And we held a number of hearings. We had a number of veterans from New Jersey. One of the veterans, I'll never forget, he said, I knew I had hit bottom when I lost my home. He was from the 82nd Airborne. And then he said, what you don't know is that that's when they put a tractor, pulled away my abandoned car, which is where I was living. He wasn't in a home, he was in a car, just eking out of existence. We had many other veterans who told the same story, very often with a number of substance abuse problems. Some had PTSD, and we weren't there for them. So I wrote this law. It's called the Homeless Veterans Assistance Act. It's on our website. It's also on Thomas, which is the House Repository of Laws, and it put $1 billion into the effort. One of the things we learned, and you learned it, I know this, I should say all the time, is that it's important that the more holistic view we take. It's not just the house, it's the integration of the other services as well. We even put in a provision that ensured a full mouth rehabilitation, because we all know if you can't eat, you can't digest, and try getting a job and all your teeth are broken, so that's in the Homeless Veterans Assistance Act. There are some proposed cuts. There's also a few increases for the elderly in the current budget. My hope is that the cuts don't happen, and I will vote that they don't happen, because we have... A decent place to live, and it talked about the importance of really backstopping the people of this country. I represented Trenton for 30 years and worked tirelessly all over the housing issues, Section 8s, trying to rehab housing stock that would provide a real home with a subsidy for those who are struggling. That work has to continue. I think you have a very much united congressional delegation. We will fight hard. Again, being here now as all of these deliberations are taking place, the face people that you love and help and respect will help us make more informed decisions. So I want to thank you for your leadership that makes all the difference in the world.
I just wanted to thank Congressman Smith behind me. He's a really big advocate for human rights and bringing disorders. Everything that you want in a congressman, he does. And he goes across party lines and he really supports people. So I really applaud his efforts and I appreciate him being here and speaking tonight. Thank you.